hello. I can't tell what looks better, but my allergies are not great today. So I'm suffering a little bit, but I'm finally going to make progress, aka finish, God Killer today. So I thought I would give you guys, I've officially made it to the halfway mark. So I figured I would chat and let you guys know what this is about, what's been going on, how I'm feeling, because I have to finish this by 6:05 p.m. so that I can finish with the audiobook. God Killer is following 3 different POVs, a misfit group kind of coming together to, they don't really have like a joint quest, they're just kind of traveling together because it's like more convenient. But we have our God Killer Kissin, our baker slash king's pal Elegant or something like that. And then we have our, I don't really know, our noble girl, Ina, also known as Inara, who is connected to a lesser god. And obviously in the book of God Killer, it's all about how the gods have been outlawed and banned. And so there's a lot of that kind of going on, that conversation of like outlawing religion and the effects that it has. And like, even though the king says like we can't have gods anymore and like we turned against them in the war, we still, like, the common folks still rely and pray to the gods and still have shrines. Then we have our God Killer who like goes and is paid to get rid of the gods who are doing harm to people. And so I'm enjoying it. I'm loving this art. I'm having a really hard time with ages, like, by the sounds of it, 'cause like these are people who are close to the king and there was a war and a bunch of people died. So I'm like, okay, they're probably like in their 30s or 40s, but it really, it sounds like they could be in their 20s. So I'm not really sure like how that is all working out. But I'm loving the disability rep and just like the queer norm of this. I'm really enjoying that. It's a dense book. It is short, which is nice, but this is high fantasy. This is not going to be for everybody, just for that fact, because it's adult high fantasy. It is a lot of information. It is dense. There's a lot of like history. This is my, like, I love this kind of stuff, but it is slow. It is a little boring. It is not always the most entertaining of a book because it's just like a lot of talking and conversations and like history and politics. But I am actually enjoying this. It's good inspiration for my current work in progress because it's got a lot of gods in it. It's got a lot of like roots in history and war, even though my characters luckily won't go into it this much. But it is good. I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying the writing. I wasn't expecting having the 3 perspectives. I don't feel like it's super necessary to have them, but they all know different pieces of information, and so we're learning different things because of it. So it kind of makes sense, and it makes sense, and it works. But the 2 girl POVs sometimes sound a little bit too similar. And then we also, I guess this is told in 4 POVs. My bad. Because we also have our little lesser god, the god of white lies, our little buddy friend. So yeah, I'm enjoying this. It's not like a 5-star right now. Halfway through, it's a little bit boring. I'm a little tired. There is action and like I enjoy the action, but it's nothing like super exciting yet. But I'm hoping, it's a new series, so it's just kind of setting up the world and everything. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm gonna finish it. I'll let you know how it is at the end. You might hear Austin or the dogs in the background trying to make a decision. He's gonna go get caffeine. So they're so loud and noisy. Just why I'm kicking them out of the house. I have reading updates though. Many. This I read a while ago. This I finished last night, but I was reading this. I think I talked to you guys about it at some point, and then they stole my audiobook like an hour earlier than they were supposed to, so I had to read the last like 100 maybe-ish pages with my own eyeballs, which was fine. But this isn't a story that makes you really want to consistently pick it back up. It's not so gripping that you're like, I want to read it, I want to get back into it. But I did overall like enjoy my experience. This is a little bit more dense fantasy. You really have to like pay attention and like understand the gods in the world, because there's so many gods and there's a lot of new terms that she's made up for this magical world, which I enjoyed, and I like seeing that kind of imagination used in fantasy books. I really like, it's not hard for me to pick up on. Like, the language that they were using was used very well, and the words specific to the gods were used very well. And so just like overall, I thought that it was very well done. I liked the writing. It was flowery yet straight and to the point, and like not overdone in any way. Like, it was just very much like, this is what's happening, but here's a lot of like beautiful comparisons to blah blah blah. The plot itself, I liked getting to know the characters in their chapters and like seeing how they come together as like this little crew of friends trying to complete their objectives. Overall, like, I enjoyed that storyline, but I didn't feel like the characters were completely, like, I didn't care about them really as much as like we're with them, because there's multiple perspectives. It's all in third person, so I never really felt attached or connected to anybody in particular. And so it was kind of just like I'm spectating what's going on rather than like being there and like feeling the emotions of them. It's very like surface level emotional conflict, but like barely. And so it was lacking that for me. But I did like the magic system and the world building a lot. I'm excited to see the continuation and like where it's going to go from here. I thought the ending was done well. So yeah, I gave it 4 stars. It's probably a low 4 stars, but it is 4 stars. But in more exciting news, I read Watch Over Me in one sitting. It's very short. The way that the story is broken up, there's like flashback memories, but then you also get things like just 1-page titles for the chapters. I just thought this was like so good. I didn't know really what I was getting into when I went into this. I kind of just thought it was like this girl hangs out with goes to like an orphanage and sees ghosts and there's grief involved. And that wasn't inaccurate, but it wasn't the most accurate. In this, we are following Mila, who is 18 or 19 and graduating high school, like finding her path in the world now. She went through some traumatic events and has been orphaned herself and has no family. And her adopted family for the past couple of years, her foster family, I suppose, they're getting ready to have like their own real family. So she's trying to find her own place in the world and goes to basically an orphanage, but it's a little bit different. Like, they have the school there. It's like a farm on the coast. I really like the setting of this. And it's just where kids go to grow up and basically be part of this family. And so she goes as an intern to be one of the teachers for a student. And we get to see a little bit of what goes on in the house, but mostly following Mila and her past and her connection with Lee when she gets there, and just like how she feels like her becoming a part of this thing while still being an outsider. And there's ghosts. Like, it's not scary. It is sad. I didn't cry, but I almost cried. It made me want to cry. Like, after I read it, I just kind of sat there for a while, and I could feel the emotion and tears kind of welling up a little bit, but then it kind of stopped and just like didn't happen. But I sat there for like a good while after reading this, just like, ow, I'm hurting. And so yeah, this was 5 stars. I really enjoyed this. I thought this was so well done, and I'm so excited to read more of Nina LaCour. This was my first, and so thank you so much, Ashley, for giving me this book. It was 5 stars, which is incredible. But yeah, I've read that, and overall, I enjoyed it. So that's my little update. It is currently the Thanksgiving day, so I will be spending most of my day reading. I'm gonna make a cake because I'm being forced to go to a family event, so I don't have to cook dinner, which is great. This isn't really a holiday I like or care about, but you know, families care, and so whatever. I'm going to relax for most of the day. I'm going to be reading most of the day because that's what you should do on holidays. No chores allowed, reading only. So that's my big plan. So yeah, I'll see you guys later when I have reading updates probably. What's up? Hello. The holidays keep on going. Having a great time. I'm currently in the middle of the Starling house. I think you could say I'm a third in so far, and I'm enjoying it. Basically, we've established that we are following a young adult who takes care of her brother, and they're like living in a motel room for free, basically, getting a lot of assistance, and she takes care of her brother who is in high school and just like isn't doing great financially. They're not in like a super fantastic place, but the owner of the infamous Starling house arrives. His name is Arthur, but I always want to call him an author. It's been an ongoing issue in my brain, but he basically returns to the house. His parents are dead. He is the ward, and she's like kind of fascinated. She keeps having dreams about the house. She's like, I don't know, something seems a little up though. And she kind of meets him a couple times, and he offers her a well-paying job to clean this disaster, disgusting, dust-filled house. Like, this house is so old and stuffy. And she's spending like many hours between dusk and sunset cleaning his house. So it pays well. It's fine. But we've gotten to the point where like there's a little bit more mystery going on. There is a power company, I believe, that are trying to get a hold of Arthur so that they can basically pay him off to develop that land and better suit their needs. They're pretending to come from this place of caring so much, so deeply about the small town, Eden, Kentucky, and they're kind of just like, we don't like you. You're not actually helping like you think you are. So she's kind of playing this like fine line of like assisting them because like they've kind of got blackmail on her because they're watching her brother, while also still trying to protect Arthur because they have this weird friendship kind of going on. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I wouldn't say that this is like like super engaging. I'm not like reading it very fast, but I am a third through, so I'll definitely wrap it up today and then move on to the next thing. But it's like I'm enjoying the writing. I don't love the characters, and being 100 pages in, really not much has happened, and she's starting to investigate like the Starling house, thinking about writing on the history a little bit and like writing a book based on it, which might be this, I don't know. But yeah, it's one of those things that I'm like, it's good, but it's not gripping. I'm not super invested in loving it, but it's so far so good. So I'm gonna keep reading this, and I will let you guys know either when I'm done or another third through if I have thoughts what I'm thinking. So hello. I know you might be asking, Sam, have you moved today? Not really. No. Pretty much not. But I did finish my book, so that's a win for me. I finished this like maybe an hour ago. I've been stalling and watching videos and having a snack and stalling. But I have finished The Starling House by Alex E. Haro. I like this. I'm not sure how I'm going to rate this one just yet, because I don't want to get on my computer and run it through Compile, to be honest, but it felt long. I know I keep saying that about like everything I'm reading. I'm like, everything just feels too long, but it is true. Like, the ending was fine. I didn't really love the ending, and honestly, like, I wanted to spend way more time in the house. I freaking love this house. The Starling house is such a good character, and I really wish that we saw more of it. I did like the romance in here and like their banter and just like how they played off on each other. I did enjoy that, and I liked the thematics of this. I enjoyed the like relations conversation, the conversation of loneliness, so on and so forth. I liked that, but it felt repetitive at times, and like I understood this character pretty well, and I wasn't like learning new things about them that I was like, yeah, and can we get to something? The whole like big corporation bad guy is something I do enjoy, but I think could have been just like a little bit more interesting, because like shit hit the fan, and then we kind of just like walked away for a while, and she's like making out with a boy, and I'm like, what? Priorities, I don't know. So yeah, she got on my nerves a little bit. Yeah, this also, I don't know if it's just in the Barnes & Noble exclusive, but there's like a 7 years in the future time jump, and so I'm curious to see like if that was just like an additional epilogue or if it was like a teaser for a series. I don't think I would like this to be a series, but I do love the house, so who knows, man. That is another book down, which is exciting. I brought 4 books out that I want to pick up. Options: Mexican Gothic, Loot, Nightbane, which is chunkier, or Midnight is the Darkest Hour. I'm not sure what I'm feeling. We've got horror, fantasies, we've got small town thriller, and then like hardcore fantasy. And then I have a whole bunch of other options in my office that I could pick up. But like these 2 could go by faster than the other 2, but the other 2 I also like definitely got to get a move on. But I think I might read Loot just because it's the shortest, and then I might read Mexican Gothic because it is also on the short side, and then I'll probably, to be honest, like I would love nothing more than to like read 7,000 books, but truth be told, I just like don't, pulling an all-nighter is very hard, and I'm a sleepy girl and I like my sleep, so we'll see how much reading I can actually accomplish, but let's do this. Hi, I'm gonna make this fast because I think the fan is probably very loud. But I finally, for my second chance author, thought of somebody who I thought would work for the problem, finally, for this punishment, so I could take care of it. And I've actually made it like over 50% into The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. I gave Peter Swanson's Every Value Break, like, originally a 4-star, brought it down to a 3-star because I was peer pressured by the Literally Dead Book Club. But it was my first domestic thriller, my first real, just, like, overall thriller, and I've had a lot of fun with it. And so it's always got, like, a special, memorable place in my heart. No, it's not perfect, it's not great, but then I read 9 Lives last year, which was atrocious. It was so bad. I was a generous 2 stars. It was bad. I do not recommend it to anybody. So, yeah, that was not a good time. So, I've picked up The Kind Worth Killing because I've heard really good things. This is probably one of his most popular books, and he just came out with a sequel this year, I think. So, I've made it over 50%. It took me like 30% to understand what was really going on, but basically, we are following one girl in particular, and we're kind of getting her backstory and her like current now, and she's basically a murderer. But she meets this guy Tim on the plane, and Tim's like, yeah, I think my wife's cheating on me, and I like kind of want to kill her. And our main girl, I think her name is Lily, she's like, let's do it. And they like form a friendship, and through this friendship we start learning a little bit more about Lily and her past, even though she doesn't tell Tim. And then her past kind of aligns in a way, and more truth starts to come out. We start to learn more about her and see like how the story unfolds from there. I don't want to spoil anything, obviously, but it's not something that I'm like enjoying. I don't love it, but we're also following completely unlikable characters that are doing bad things. And it's one of those things like, when a man rights women's wrongs, I don't know if I can support women's wrongs the same way. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but if it does, you get me. But yeah, it's just like, I like that we're switching perspectives, but it makes me uncomfortable, which I think is kind of the point, because we're not really supposed to like her, and so like it works in that sense, but at the same time it's just like questionable. Oh my god. So yeah, she's not like a good character to follow, but I am intrigued enough. It's a very easy listen. It's not too overwhelming, and nothing has like blaringly upset me, which is, you know, probably the best sign after 9 Lives, which was just offensive. So yeah, that's what I've been reading. I'm gonna go now because I'm gonna listen to it a little bit longer and go to sleep, but I have like an hour and 20 minutes or something left, so I'm hoping to knock that out probably today, tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe Monday, I don't know. Hi, I figured that it made more sense to just extend this vlog for the rest of the month, as it's already the like last week. This month went by so fast. It's fine. But I have finished The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson, my second chance author, because 9 Lives was bad and Every Value Break was a fun time. A Kind Worth Killing is fine. It's good in some parts, it's not good in other parts. Like, it was very like a pros and cons kind of list. I gave it 3 stars at the end because I liked the way that Peter Swanson wrote this, and the fact that like we're getting different perspectives, and so you think like the book is going to start taking certain directions, and then it doesn't. And I did like that play. I hated the cop. I hated that detective so much. I felt the ending was incredibly rushed, which was really disappointing for this particular story, because like it was just like so like, and it felt like it was going somewhere, and like it seemed very clever, and then it didn't do that. It didn't go there. So I got a little bit disappointed by that, because I was like, oh man, there's potential for like more, something better. But I am intrigued. Maybe I will definitely read the sequel, because of the way that it ends. It's very like, oh no, she's in trouble, uh-oh. But not so much like I need to know right away what's gonna happen next, especially because like there were years in between the books coming out, and so like I will get to it. It's not super high priority, but it was a very easy audiobook listen, which is always like a good time, like something I can throw off in the background. I listened to most of it while I was making a cake, so it was just like an easy listen. Parts of it confused me, parts of it I think could have been better, but like overall it was a fine experience. But now I'm going to tell you about my next book, and I need to put you somewhere more secure. That's dark. We'll figure this out together. Bright lights are meant to fly. I have been reading Loot. I'm almost done with it at this point. I've got like, I don't know, less than 100 pages left. So let me tell you more specifically about what Loot is about. Loot is about, primarily we are following this woman who has a name. I'm sure she does. Anyway, we're following her. She lives with her husband and their 2 kids, Emma and Charlie. And they live on this like little island of Loot, where every 7 years, 7 people, no more, no less, die. And it is the day. So at the beginning of the book, there's like 3 days before, 2 days before, 1 day before the day. And then we're on the day, and there's like a time, not necessarily a countdown, but kind of a countdown in the fact that, like, it goes from 9 a.m., 10:30, like, taking you throughout the day, and you're able to, like, see what all is happening and going on, and the deaths that do happen. Oh my god. This is definitely, like, it is horror, and, like, the people are dying, but it's not, like, spooky scary. But I know something is going on with her son, and that part I'm very intrigued about. I want to know why Charlie is so smart and, like, has these dreams, and, like, what is going on. But basically, we are just following our main character experiencing her very first the day, and just, like, the unfortunate circumstances. The last death had me choked. I was like, oh my god, we just did that. She just did that. Okay, all right. And it really set the tone, even though, like, it happened not that long ago. The only thing I'm not loving is her relationship with her husband. I can't tell if I'm supposed to like him or not, if I'm rooting for their relationship or not, if he actually is a good guy or not. Like, it's not clear of what the author is trying to say about these two. But then we're introduced to this other man on the island, and she's like, he's the opposite of everything my husband is. And I'm like, are we about to have, like, an affair? Is there gonna be, like, a cheating scandal? What is going on? I'm just, like, a little bit confused. Like, yeah, your husband's not treating you that well, but, like, what are we doing? So, I don't know how to feel. I know this is, like, a lot of people's just, like, a very mid book, and I think it's probably going to be a mid book for me. I think the writing is fine. I think that the circumstances, like, obviously this is incredibly unrealistic. There's also, like, it's set in the middle of a war, which is, like, a little bit, like, close to home, talking about ceasefires and all this stuff, and was like, ooh, okay, I don't need that right now. I don't want to read about war right now in my books when I'm just trying to, like, turn my brain off. But it's not too bad. I like the characters enough. It's just, like, it's fine. It's nothing super spectacular. I'm not blown away by anything. But again, I have less than 100 pages left, so who knows? It might end up blowing me away. We'll see. But I'm going to wrap this up and finish, and then I will let you guys know my final thoughts, and then we'll probably start something next. Something else. Something new. Great. I finished this. I'm also very cold and very sleepy and very tired. Those are the same things. It's fine. We're going to make this fast. I finished this last night. I also got 100 pages into Mexican Gothic. I'll probably finish it tomorrow. We'll talk about it then. Loot. The ending got wild. I knew it was horror, but I didn't really know if this was going to be more on, like, the paranormal religious side, or if it was going to just be people horror. And I'm pleasant with the direction that it went, but at the same time, like, it got a little wild at times. It was a little scandalous. It went places. It did things. The dog does not die, and that was a really big thing for me. I couldn't tell if Max was gonna die the whole time, because Max would just run off on the day, and I'm like, if this dog is one of the 7 that dies, I will never forgive you. The dog is fine. The dog is okay the whole time. The writing was fine. There was no plot twist or anything. It's just, like, a day in time. I liked the epilogue a lot. I liked the way that it concluded and, like, where the direction and story went overall. Like, it was a fine experience. It's nothing to run home about. I'm not going to probably remember this forever, but I am happy that I finally read it. This is such a beautiful freaking cover. A little misleading, but pretty nonetheless, so I'm not upset about it. But yeah, I think I, like, 3.5, like, just a very simple basic rating for a simple basic book. But my head hurts a little bit. I'm gonna go lay in bed. I hope you have a good night. I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. Hello, friends. I'm ending this vlog. I read a lot. I've actually edited everything up until this point, just, like, preparing for tomorrow's upload. But I read quite a few things. I still have quite a few on the TBR, so I'm I did get about a third. I'm 105 pages into Mexican Gothic. And so far, I am loving this. I will probably finish this up for my, like, reading my yearly TBRs down, like the 12 friends, recommend 12 friends, 23 and 2023. You get it, you got it. I'm probably going to finish this in that video, so look forward to my thoughts. That video will come out mid-December-ish. But I still really need to get to Midnight is the Darkest Hour before the book club happens. And then I can't show this because these are Christmas presents for my friends. Oh, they're so heavy though. Okay, please don't fall. Please don't fall. Need to read Nightbane. I think I have the audiobook still. We'll have to double check that. I, of course, still have this bad boy. This will be in my next reading vlog for sure. Because I will be starting this and I will be reading it every single day. Wish me the best of luck. Oh my god. Oh, I'm so nervous. I keep putting it off because it's just making me nervous. But I gave myself a deadline to finish this, so it's gonna be done. It's gonna be done. And then, of course, I still have Legendary and Finale to read. I don't know why I keep putting these off, but I definitely will be reading these soon because I genuinely want to. Like, why I've been putting them off, I don't know. I've still been kind of in like a spooky mood, so I read like the shorter things. The Sun in the Void. As beautiful as she is, I am going to put a soft DNF on this one and walk away for a little bit. I did the bad thing and I read reviews before getting super far into this, and because of that, I am just going to put it down for now and pick it back up at a later date when I'm a bit more interested. It's pretty thick and chunky. That's what she is. She's thick and chunky, and I just like am not in the place to read this. I don't know if I'm gonna love it. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews that makes me a little hesitant to pick it up right now. So yes, and then the last two I still have to read. Vampires of El Norte and Bring Me Your Midnight. It's right in front of me and I still can't comprehend. So this is still like a rather large stack, but I have a few days until I do my December TBR, so I'm still going to try and read this down the best of my abilities. We'll see how that goes. I'm still excited for all of them, which is a good sign. So I will take that as a win. I've got a lot of fun stuff just like planned, things that are coming up. December is going to be like a very busy month, but I'm very excited for whatever is all going on. Like, we're going to a musical Friday, so you guys will see a little bit of that. I'm just excited. Things are looking all right. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on with me. Had a busy day today, which is why you didn't see much of me this fine Wednesday, because I went and had lunch with my mom and we've been Christmas shopping. I think all of my Christmas shopping is officially done. I just did my Secret Santa for Meredith's Discord, so that's out of the way now, and therefore I think I've done it all. Except for my stepsister, like, we're still trying to figure something out for her, but we got her things, so like, whew, I'm in the clear. Christmas is done, and it's not even December. What a beautiful time. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. I am so happy that I read so much this week. Probably read more physical books this week than I have in the past few months, so that's a win. But that's it. I'm rambling. Goodbye. I'll see you next week. Bye.